Hey everyone, welcome back. We're taking a look at another watch today. This is Monday, as you can see from this one. We're taking a look at a knockoff maybe, or an homage. Every watch is a copy of another watch. This is the Peugeot Presidential, or the Peugeot Day Date. It's a very iconic clone or homage to the Rolex Day Date, or the Rolex Presidential. And the thing that I really enjoy about this watch is it has the entire day at the top, so it completely writes it out. This, I mean, Google Rolex President. I mean, this is like an identical copy. Maybe not identical in terms of watch collector identical. There's certainly a lot of differences you can pick out, but in terms of general design cues and other things like that, this is pretty darn close. Let's go over the price to start. A good day date from Rolex can cost you close to, I would say, between $4 and $6 grand, depending on where you shop and if it's new, used, or refurbished or something like that. This is $70. It comes in a variety of colors, gold, complete gold. This is the stainless steel version, and it also comes in a two-tone. And then this is quartz movement, obviously. So let's go over some dimensions real quick. The dimensions on the Amazon, you can get this on Amazon, by the way. The dimensions on Amazon, I don't agree with. It's 40 millimeters. I agree with that. Lug to lug is 42. It sits very, very narrowly on the wrist. Speaking of wrist, I will take a look at the watch that I'm wearing today. This is a Seiko 7002. It's kind of like a cheaper SKX, and this is orange. It's got a little GMT bezel, or not a GMT bezel, but a military time bezel to it. It was Easter. It's pretty close to Easter, just a couple days after, and I like that nice bright orange color. It's on a typical garbage Seiko Jubilee, but I really enjoy that watch. Definitely one of the rougher watches in my collection, but I certainly like that. I just picked that up not too long ago from a guy that customizes them on eBay. Anyway, back to the Peugeot Presidential. Peugeot, French company, not anything like the auto manufacturer. So this is not the car company, separate Peugeot. Box it came in was pretty nice. I didn't bring it down. It's a nice red box. Comes with some papers, other things like that. Lifetime warranty, other things like that. Roman numerals around, which is kind of nice. 50 meters water resistance. One of my complaints about this watch, and I'll see how close I can get it, this ticks wherever it wants. If you take a look at that, it rarely hits the indice up there. So as we're ticking along, it just kind of hits wherever it wants, past the second, before the second, wherever it wants. So that's slightly annoying, but for a $70 watch, I guess you can't complain too bad. Anyway, on with dimensions. 20 millimeter band. This tapers down to 15, which is pretty esque of Rolex. This just has a deployant clasp. I like the brushed here, and then it's got Peugeot on here, but this just kind of clasps into itself. I have no idea how it stays like that. It feels so loose, but it's pretty solid. You've got some quick adjusts here if you want to adjust that there, and then it's a kind of a Jubilee style bracelet, so it does have a little bit of flex to it, so it's kind of nice. It not ripping your arm hair out. So full date on the top, obviously. You've got some pretty bland hour and minute hands. They're fine, but again, this is a copy. You've got brushed here on the side, so that'll show some scratches and some other marks there. There's some brushing that's on the top that sort of blends in here with the band. Very reflective today. What's going on with my lighting? You've got brushed on the outside, polished on the inside. Another cue from Rolex. No crown guards. Another typical cue. There's no logo or anything like that on the crown. More polished on this side. One click will obviously change the one direction will change the day. The other direction will change the date. Speaking of the date, this does have a Cyclops here that will magnify it, but man, it doesn't really magnify. That's a cue to know if your watch is fake or not. If you go to buy a Rolex, the standard is that the magnification has to be 2.5 times the date here. So if you can kind of look, maybe we'll see if we can look past it here on the camera. No, maybe not. Maybe from the top. Like, look how small that date window is in there. Like, that thing is super, super tiny. I mean, you can kind of see where it is there, but man, that date window is so small. It's like you might as well just have not, you know, foregone the Cyclops to begin with and just put a halfway decent date window in there. But honestly, $70, it's not bad. The bracelet is definitely a little bit cheap. Not a little bit cheap. I'm gonna say a lot of bit cheap. I feel like this watch is a little bit more, now that I'm talking about it, now that I've worn it for quite some time, it's been in my collection for a little while. I feel like the $70 price range might be a little bit too much. You can certainly spend $70 or $80 on a website like AliExpress, wait 30 days, and get a much better clone, unbranded clone with an automatic movement and sapphire glass and some much better specs. If you want to wait a couple weeks and pick up one from China, AliExpress has some incredible homages to Rolex there. But I can't wait that long. I'm just not that patient. So Amazon, this was probably the best that Amazon had to offer there. That was at least Prime eligible. So let me have you listen to this bracelet. Now, Jubilee bracelets are a little jingly in themselves. But let me close this up like it's on my wrist, and I'll give you a little jingle jangle, because sometimes if you jingle this down your wrist like I do, because I've got small wrists, it does have a little bit of a cheap sound to it. Let me see if I can get a little sound here. Kind of cheap sounding. So $70, $50, I feel a little bit better about it, like a $50 price range, but it's not terrible. Shines up nice. It's a nicer watch. I'm a big dive watch guy, if you've seen some of my videos, but this was definitely a design that I cherish from Rolex and their ingenuity, and it works pretty well. It's pretty spot on. It just struck 8 o'clock here. 8 o'clock here on the laptop here, and this is one of the watches that I use to set all my other watches with, because I have a lot of automatic watches. This is quartz, so this is the watch that really keeps on ticking. It changes day, absolutely no problem. It's nice on Sundays. The day is in red text rather than in black text. That's kind of different. Couple quirks with it, but honestly, if you want to pick up a little homage, this is not a bad way to go. So let me know what you think. I'll include an Amazon link in the description if you need any more details. I don't do any Amazon affiliate stuff. I don't care. So feel free to buy it with that link. You're not giving me any money. The watch isn't going to cost anything more. It's just a regular old Amazon link. So questions, leave them in the comment section below. We're probably going to be taking a look at some other watches, maybe this one next. This has only been on my wrist for a couple of days now. We'll probably take a look at that. We've also starting to take a look at some more knives again that are in my collection. I've got a stockpile of them that I'm starting to go through now that we're been quarantined for a little while with this coronacation that's going on. So stick around, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.